Welcome to Ohio Roots, the official podcast of the Ohio Genealogical Society. Join us as we embark on a captivating journey through Ohio's rich genealogy, history, and abundant resources. Hosted by me, OGS Executive Director Noel Poirier, this podcast brings you insightful conversations with a diverse array of guests, from OGS members, chapter leaders, and staff to renowned genealogists, historians, and influential figures within the genealogical community. Each episode delves into fascinating topics and captivating stories. So grab your headphones, hit that play button, and join us on this enthralling journey of Ohio's roots. My guests on today's Ohio Roots podcast are Cheryl Abernathy and Becky Plank, co-chairs of the 2025 OGS Conference being held next year at Kalahari Resort and Conference Center in Sandusky, Ohio. They're here today to discuss the conference and what attendees can expect from one of the largest in-person genealogical conferences in the entire region. We'll also learn a little bit about their own backgrounds and experiences in genealogy. I think you'll really enjoy this conversation with Cheryl and Becky. Well, Cheryl and Becky, thank you so much for joining me today for the Ohio Roots podcast to talk about the 2025 OGS Conference. I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
I'm going to start with kind of the same thing I start with everybody who's a guest on the podcast, which is trying to find out a little bit about you. So if you don't mind, I'd love to know how it is both of you got your start and your interest in genealogy. Cheryl, you want to go first?
I guess I kind of got started back in junior high when we had to do a report, and my grandmother told me we were related to Daniel Boone. And it wasn't until I was married and went to another family reunion that I decided to look and see if we were related to Daniel Boone. Turns out we're not.
Isn't that always the way?
DNA has proved us wrong, because I have a cousin from my same line that her father was a Boone, is a Boone, and he did a DNA test and said, no, we don't tie into that line. So I haven't figured out yet who, what, how, or anything else, but that's what got me started.
Okay. What I got to ask, what made the family member think that you were related to Boone?
It must have been something that was passed out through her family, because just the way it came down. So I don't know why, but
that's pretty neat. Yeah. Becky, how about you?
Basically, almost the same through my grandmother. I had a grandmother, and, anytime we were together, we might go out and do cemeteries or look for cemeteries, because she could never remember where they were. On top of a hill. That was about it. And then I had a cousin who he did our paternal grandfather's side, and I did our grandmother's side. I say he cheated because my great-grandparents were first cousins, so he only had one line to do. And I had to do two. Of course, during the times I worked, I wasn't really busy, but when I retired in 2017, I've spent a lot of time on genealogy.
It's interesting. Grandmothers tend to be a key, and when I talk to people about who gets them started in genealogy, and I know even on my side of the family, it was my great-grandmother who had given my grandmother, and then my grandmother gave my mother all these old family photographs and records that they had, and it just kind of came down through that line. And I know with my wife, it's kind of the same thing. Her and her mother and grandmother used to go out to the cemeteries pretty regularly and clean off headstones and clear away brush and wherever there were families. So it's always interesting to me how our matriarchs play such a large role in our continuing to look at family history. As we look at the 2025 OGS Conference, one of the things I noted is the theme, light up your genealogy, I think it is. How did you come up with that?
I think it's because we were trying to find a theme, and Edison's birthplace is just down the road from Kalahari.
Okay.
So that kind of, what got us started on that, just kind of playing off Edison and his lights and what have you.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was nice because it's a nice way to look at it, particularly, and we'll talk more about the tracks, the different things people learn there. But the idea of lighting up or shedding light or illuminating on your family history is a big part of, I think, what OGS does and what genealogists in general do. So I think it's a very fitting theme for a conference like this. Hi, this is OGS Executive Director Noel Poirier, and I'm cordially inviting you to stay home, put on your comfiest pajamas, and do not attend our annual no-show ball. That's right, no fancy clothes, no parking hassles, no small talk. Just the satisfaction of supporting a great cause from the comfort of your couch. And what's on the agenda for this year's no-show ball? Absolutely nothing. No dinner to dress up for, no speeches to sit through, no dance moves required. But don't worry, while you enjoy your evening off, your generosity will be hard at work supporting the Ohio Genealogical Society. And this is how you do it. You stay home, you literally do anything else, and then you donate. And you can donate today at www.ogs.org/donate and use the 2024 No-Show Ball cause as your selection. No babysitter, no problem, no shoes, no problem. Thank you for not attending the No-Show Ball, but thank you for supporting the Ohio Genealogical Society. We always kind of brag about our keynote address speakers for the conference, and so I'm going to give you an opportunity to brag about yours.
We had tried in 2021, I think, to get Judy Russell for our keynote at that time, but she couldn't make it because she was otherwise occupied, but she said she would like to come back.
Great.
So when I was chosen as a conference co-chair, it's like, okay, let's see if we can get her in this time. And everybody in the genealogy world, if you have anything to do with genealogy, knows Judy Russell and as the legal genealogist. Okay. And so that's how we came to get her. She likes coming to Ohio, so she's been here before. So
let's talk a little bit about the conference in general. What should people who are attending expect in general from the conference?
I think they can expect a wide range of speakers and a wide range of topics. You talked about our different tracks. Mm-hmm. Of course, DNA and artificial intelligence are two of the newer topics that people want to hear about. They always want military and sometimes regional things, methodology and records. So there's a wide variety of tracks that people can hear from our over 30 speakers. So that gives them a wide choice every day.
When we talk about tracks, how many, not to put you on the spot, how many actual programs are we talking about?
I believe there's over 100 programs.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So pretty much anything, you'll find something.
You'll find something. I mean, you figure we do 7 times 5, 35 a day, give or take. So there's lots to choose from, and you have to choose from 7 in each time slot. So you may have to, if you want to hear a particular speaker, juggle your schedule a lot.
Yeah. Who are the particular speakers? Who are the ones you want to brag about a little bit?
Judy Russell, for sure.
Yeah.
Daniel Horowitz is another one that's always popular. Peggy Lawrenson. Let's see. Who else do we have?
We have Sandra Rummel.
Yeah.
She was a very good one that everyone appreciated last year, so we brought her back. Michelle Trevenko and Justin Hauser are doing some things from the New Jersey area and eastern Pennsylvania.
Well, you raised a really neat point, though, I think, Becky, which is that, how the conference is responsive to the attendees. I mean, when we survey attendees after the fact and we ask them about things that they particularly enjoyed or things they'd like to see more of, we're able to build that back into the next conference. And I think that that's a great thing for OGS to do, to make sure that we're always kind of meeting the expectations of the people who are attending conference.
Yes, that's always a challenge, to review those surveys and then, how do we make adjustments and show them that we're listening to those surveys, especially, and make, even if they're small changes, make those changes for the attendees.
Right. And I know, because when I attend, obviously I spend a lot of time in the exhibition hall. Are we planning on doing that again in 2025?
Yes, there will be a hall. They're working on getting vendors now.
Okay. because I know OGS will be there, and there's always a lot of other vendors there, and it's nice to be able to just kind of walk around the hall and chat with folks who are there, and in between programs, people can come in and see what's going on and learn and also buy, which is never a bad thing for folks if they're going to want to be a vendor or at the exhibit hall. You're going to have a captive audience for a few days. Talk to me about the venue, about Kalahari. We've been there before, obviously. So what is there anything people should expect from Kalahari when they go if they've never been there?
It's a huge place, and hopefully they will get the hotel rooms closer to the venue, which is, on the conference center side. Mm-hmm. We will be more or less contained in our own little niche this year because mm-hmm. in previous years we've had trouble with dancers and cheerleaders coming through because they have a competition. But sure. We've worked on, Marlene has worked with that to, hopefully keep them out of our area so we don't have as mm-hmm. much, confrontation with them or whatever.
Yeah, a little bit of through traffic occasionally.
Yeah.
I think the important thing also for people to remember is that Kalahari is a cashless venue. So you have to be prepared for that. But the exhibitor hall is not necessarily cashless. Right. There are those in the exhibitor hall who will take cash and check as well as credit cards. So the exhibitor hall is set up one way, whereas Kalahari itself, the facility, is another.
Yeah. One of the things I think is nice about Kalahari as a host site is the opportunity. It's all very self-contained. So, if you want to get a coffee in the morning before a conference, or if you need to get something to eat in the afternoon, or if you actually want to go swim in the water park, it's all right there in one big place, and it makes it really convenient, I think, for attendees to not have to worry about where am I going to go get something to eat or those kinds of things that you might have if you were just at a general conference center. So I really like the venue. I think it's a nice venue. It's certainly suitable for the kind of numbers that we're expecting. I mean, I assume you're hoping for a good registration this year.
It keeps going up, I think. Every year it increases a little bit more. So
yeah. What will registration? What are the costs if somebody's interested in attending?
Let's see. Members, it's $185. This is for full registration. Non-members is $225. And let's see. You can have 1 or 2 days too. You don't have to come all 3 days. You can just come, a day or two, whatever your schedule allows. So.
And I know Go ahead, Becky. I'm sorry.
Those prices are for the early bird registration if you register by March 7th. The final deadline is April 18th, but the prices are a little higher.
Sure. One of the things I like about the single day attendees is I do see a lot of folks who come up just for the day. And I think that's something people need to keep in mind, that if you can't make it for the entire conference, you can still come up and take advantage of the courses that you're interested in, particularly if you live locally and you don't need to stay at the hotel or at the resort or anything. Because, where we are in Belleville at the OGS library, a lot of the local folks from there will just drive up for the day, sometimes for conference, as opposed to come up and spend the night. And so it's really very nice for folks if they only have a day to be able to do that. Can they book their hotels right through the Kalahari website and stuff like that?
There is a link on the webpage, on our conference webpage now, to the Kalahari. They prefer that you do book it online as opposed to calling them.
Sure.
So yes, there is there. I think it's on there now. So
are attendees getting a special rate for that period?
They do. The hotel rate's $152 per night plus tax. And you must register by March 30th for the discount.
Okay, great. And when will registration officially open?
That will open at 10 o'clock on Black Friday.
Okay, so just coming up.
It's coming up. It's kind of been a standard. They do have certain people who do tend to register that day, only because maybe they have family gatherings. They're going to give it as a gift to another family member and to encourage maybe groups to come that way.
Yeah. Becky, I've never thought of it as giving it as a gift to somebody. That's a great idea. Well, great. I'm really looking forward to it again this year. I know that the staff at OGS is looking forward to it again this year. So, Becky and Cheryl, thank you so much for joining me today for the Ohio Roots podcast. We'll make sure we get this out before Black Friday so everybody has a chance to hear about what's coming up before they start registering. And again, thanks for joining me today.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank Cheryl Abernathy and Becky Plank for joining me today on the podcast to discuss 2025's OGS Conference being held at Kalahari Resort and Convention Center in Sandusky, Ohio from April 30th to May 3rd, 2025. You can learn more about the conference by visiting its page on the OGS website at www.ogs.org and select OGS Annual Conference from the top menu. There you will find all the information you'll need to know about the conference, registration, pricing, etc. Registration for the 2025 OGS Conference opens on Friday, November 29th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Be sure to register early to get the early bird pricing, and we'll see you all in Sandusky, where we will light up your genealogy. Thanks for listening.
The Ohio Roots podcast is brought to you by the Ohio Genealogical Society, the premier gateway for discovering your Ohio family history. Hosted by OGS Executive Director Noel Poyer and edited by Luke Poyer. Theme song is Beautiful Ohio, recorded by Bob Stanley and his orchestra in 1944. To learn more about joining the Ohio Genealogical Society, visit www.ogs.org.